So I was shuffling earlier and this card fell out, the Hermit. I'm going to use that as your crowning energy. And then I have Justice, which is interesting. That's your card. Okay, the High Priestess. Wow, 3 major arcana so far. The Two of Cups in the reverse position, the Hierophant. 4 major arcana. The 6 of Swords in the reverse. The 10 of Cups in the reverse, the Knight of Swords in the reverse position, and the Judgment card upright. Okay, I think that should be sufficient. We do have, we do end with 2 cards in the upright position. Wow, so this is going to be a very, very powerful month. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, yeah, 5 major arcana cards. So it is going to be a very potent month. And let me see here how these energies will play out. Okay, for a lot of you, for a lot of Libras, what I do sense is there is going to be situations in which you're dealing with people in positions of authority, okay? All the people in authority, though, are in the upright position. So what I do sense here is that a lot of you might be going ahead with like divorces. A lot of you might be in court situations. I feel though that if you're in a court situation, things will be ruled in your favor, and at the same time, if you have children, you might have to deal with like the principals. Your kids might be have like trouble at school. What I sense is like fighting arguments at school. Okay, where you actually have to, not just with a counselor or a teacher, but you're dealing with like the head of an institution, especially like a school. So you're dealing with the vice principal or the principal or someone in a very high position of power. So that's coming in for those of you with children. That situation might happen in which, there's something revolving your child. And I do feel with the Knight of Swords in the reverse position, it does indicate a little bit of conflict, and it might escalate to like a physical altercation with somebody. And I feel very strongly, though, just be really careful. Just try to stay on top of the kids and try to make sure they're okay. I feel that they are going to be okay because the people in authority are all in the upright position. For those of you too whom I feel a little bit of an identity crisis regarding religion as well, with the Hierophant and the High Priestess are all both in the upright position though. So what I do sense is a lot of you might take a different approach when it comes to religious practice or even like spirituality. So for example, what I sense here is you might be in a family situation in which cultural and religious practices, because those can often be linked together. Cultural and religious practices might be in discordance, so you and your spouse might have trouble over how to raise the child that you have between the two of you. So there might be like religious differences coming into play, which might disrupt the dynamic of the household, okay? And at the same time, for those of you who are getting married as well, what I do sense is like the parents, like in-laws from both sides, are not in accordance with one another, and at the same time, like the religious and the cultural divide might test the strength of your love, and you might not be entirely thrilled with this. Like, that you really love the other person and you want to devote your life and, spend the rest of your life with them. But what I do sense is it's difficult to bridge that gap. So you might decide to, break up, or the advice here that I'm sensing is, just don't jump the gun in this situation, because I don't feel that you're going to do it in the healthiest of manner. So try to hold back if it is just depending on your religious beliefs and upbringing, okay, this might like have a lot of weight on a lot of you in terms of like religious practices, and you might place a lot of emphasis on that, and you might choose a romantic partner or marriage partner based on that. for those of you that are dealing with situations like this, I would definitely say, don't jump the gun, don't rush into this too fast, and especially don't decide on this just yet, okay? You do still have a lot of insights that will actually, a lot more information will come to light. And I feel in general, you have to look at the bigger picture, okay? With the Hermit card as your crowning energy, what I do sense is that, he's shining light on this entire situation. So I feel that you are only a small fraction of this situation that is playing out around you, and you have only one perspective. So it's very important to give like president to give value to the other party's point of view, because I do feel that it is a difference in opinion, but no one is in the wrong here, okay? Everyone is in the upright position. Everyone is trying their best to reach a compromise and to find a workable solution. It's just difficult because the people involved are so like their belief systems are so ingrained that it's really hard to change anybody's perspective. But the good news is, at least the silver lining is that everyone here is trying to find a solution. Okay, so no one is against anybody here. So and everyone is approaching this in a very high-minded manner, which is good. And at the end of the month, we have the Judgment card, which is a really good card. It does indicate like a new beginning happening, and it's also like a situation in which everyone it's a card of unity. And I feel that in the human experience, we do have a lot of things that we don't always agree on, and especially as humans, we try to assert our own beliefs, assert ourselves, and we step on one another's toes. But in the end of it all, nothing really matters. We're all humans, and we all want the same things from life. And everyone in your midst if you've been dealing with a situation that is like this, everyone wants the best. Everyone is in a is trying to find that best solution to appease the characters involved in this situation, okay? And I feel that a resolution is going to come in order that will satisfy everyone involved. So in general, the only rough thing I would say about this month is if there are differences in opinion in which you can't find a resolution for, it's not going to come about until the end of the month. So take consolation in that. At the same time, I do feel that this is a situation here in which, I wouldn't say it's a moving on, because I feel that this hasn't run its course yet. So it does require that towards even the third and the fourth week of this month, you're going to feel really burned out, and you're going to feel like very tired, and you don't really want to work at this anymore. But I would suggest you to go back and redo it. Go back and try to resolve this conflict, and even if it can't be salvaged, at least find a resolution so that you can move on good terms, okay? Because I do feel that these are significant relationships in your life, so it's important to reach a very comfortable resolution so that you don't end up, resentful and angry and bitter with one another where you can't even talk. If there are children involved in the picture too, I feel that, it's going to hurt the kids more than anything else. So really try to work this through, because the other party is willing. It's just really difficult to see things from the other party's point of view, mainly because everyone is very fixed in their opinions as well. Okay, so I know Libras are very good at compromising. The other party, you might feel that they're being a little obstinate and stubborn and not being receptive to what you have to say. But I would advise you to to revise the way you're looking at the other party, because I feel that there can be a very peaceful and calm and satisfying resolution that can result from this if you go back and try to work things out in a different way, okay? So changing the perspective is greatly indicated by the Hermit, and it's basically taking some time off to get more clarity. And the Hermit is on top, and I really enjoy looking at this card. It's the card of Virgo, and Virgos as an earth sign is quite detached and quite analytical. So this is a situation in which you're too emotionally invested in the situation, in the other person, in your own beliefs, and in the environment itself. You're too invested in the outcome, where you are basically kind of like blocked from seeing the whole picture. Okay, so don't go into situations with an agenda. Be open-minded and come in there with the spirit of resolution. Okay, and I feel that you're going to be very successful because your card is coming up in the upright position. It might be the other party that is stubborn that you're dealing with here, and this is the card of Taurus. Very stubborn Taurus, but they have good intentions. You know, they do want to see things, they do want to resolve things, and they do want to compromise. It's just they feel that they feel a little like attacked, and they feel a little victimized, like, because it's really difficult to change the opinion of an earth sign. Okay, you have two here. So for those of you dealing with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Capricorn is not showing up here, but I strongly sense that is a Taurus situation, like a Taurus person. For those of you who are dealing with that type of energy, what I would say is the Taurus is very interested in, he or she really wants to make this work, but let me see here. But they don't really know how to approach this because they feel that it's going to require such a deep fundamental change in their perspective and in their ideology that they're afraid of it. They don't really know how. So as a defense mechanism, they're kind of like blocking you off and blocking off your efforts. And what I do sense here is, as well, there is another energy involved in this picture. So it's kind of like a threesome type of relationship, not an infidelity or anything like that. Although it could be this in the past, but I do feel that it's a relationship between two people as well. For those of you who, you know, are going through this, there are too many people involved. There are just too many like opinions and too many people trying to get their points across, and it's difficult to try to appease everybody, but a resolution will come by the end of this month when we're in towards the time of Taurus, like from the 21st on to the, because of all these major arcanas and all these really strong, very opinionated energies coming through. The only person that is not opinionated is this one card, and this card just speaks for itself. It is the Hermit. It is somebody who is who's very self-contained, and he doesn't really need other people's advice. He knows he's an old man too, so what I do sense is it is the voice of reason and the voice of wisdom. But the nature of earth signs is that, you know, especially for this card, he does take a back seat, and he has a lot of insight. But these people are like arguing amongst themselves that they just want to be heard rather than, you know, seeking the right source for advice, is what I'm sensing. And I feel very strongly too, this is indicative of like child rearing, religious practices, or, you know, like raising a child a certain way, like philosophical ideas, beliefs about child rearing. I feel very strongly with this spread, okay? Mainly because we have, let's see, this is, you know, indicative of potential birth too. Even though it is in the reverse position, what I do sense is like a falling out between people based on child rearing practices. This is a falling out between a marriage partnership based on the parenting styles, okay? So what I would say is, in general, if you're dealing with this situation, okay, there is a person here that actually has very good insight, and this person is not being heard. And I don't feel anyone is like, anyone involved here is like humble enough to ask the expert what they think. And this is what I'm using as the expert, mainly because he has that light, and he has like he shines light in a dark situation. He's like the guiding light in a very confusing, in a very convoluted situation between people who are not seeing outside of themselves. So go to the source, go to the expert, because the expert is there waiting for you and waiting for the opportunity for you to come see them. And I just want to say additionally, what I do sense here, it is yeah, related to like children. If you have like a young child or a young adult that is going through counseling, um, try not to patronize this child, okay? So if there's somebody in your midst or you yourself have to go through counseling, then you know what it's like to have to see a counselor and have to like bare your soul. And then those around you might think that you have, problems, that you're not able to take care of yourself, mainly because of the stigma associated with, someone going to see a therapist, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone needs, guidance and help in the right direction. So, for those of you who are dealing with somebody who is very close to you and who is going through counseling, treat it as, any type of a health issue. For example, if you have like, I don't know, if you have a sprain, then you would see a doctor. If you need a quick mental health fix, you would see a therapist. There's nothing wrong with that. People need to take care of things so that they get better. So don't treat them with kitty gloves. Don't patronize them. I feel that they're going to be a little more insulted, and it's going to make it really difficult for them to open up to you in the future if they feel like that you're being too patronizing, okay? I don't think it's going to be a big issue because you're in the upright position, but I do feel that everyone in the environment is just like, okay, very hands off. It's just like they're like walking on eggshells when it comes to that one person that is going through like therapy. So yeah, just be careful about that. But in general, everything has a very good resolution by the end of this month, okay? So that aside, I feel that I've exhausted those possibilities. There's a lot of information. But I do feel mainly it is related to children, okay? So for those of you who have like family situations too, like therapy would be the ideal thing to do if you have like relationship problems or if you have problems related to children in your family and you don't know how to resolve them. Try to seek a counselor. And I do feel that an outsider's perspective, like an expert, not just random outsiders, but like an expert's unbiased opinion would be very beneficial and would shed light on a lot of the things that you're not aware of in in mending the relationships. Okay, so it's going to be a very transformative month. So I would advise you to seek the proper guidance from a specialist to help with your relationships. Okay, and I always advise clients too, if you're in a marriage situation or if you're in a long-term committed relationship, and as a last resort, go see a counselor if you feel that it can be salvaged, because most relationships can, and counselors, like relationship therapists, they can teach you, coping mechanism, like coping skills, so that you can learn to better relate to one another. Because we're all different people. We relate in different ways, and sometimes the energies don't jive, and there's nothing wrong with that. But in order to salvage any type of relationship, you have to get to the root of the matter, and you have to learn to communicate in an effective way. So if you're like very different from your partner culturally, ethnically, linguistically, even, I don't know, if you're very different from your partner, things can still work out. It's just a matter of opening the right channel and learning the right coping skills in order to deal with one another's quirks and habits, okay? So that is like, I think it's a good advice to do it. Seek a specialist, seek an outsider's perspective, especially a specialist who knows what he or she is doing. Okay, so all of that aside, let's look at your finances. Finances are not big in the picture here. What I do see here with the card of the Hierophant is this is just, slow, steady progress as well. At the same time, with the Justice in the upright position, I feel that you're getting, the work that you put in, you're going to get an equal amount of compensation for it. So finances are not the main concern for this month, okay? But I would say it's definitely steady, mainly because of this. For those of you who are like unemployed and are looking, going back to a previous employer would be very beneficial for you, because I do feel new opportunities might open up. And then by going back there, I feel that you might be able to start a new project, or something just opens up that you would be a perfect candidate for. Okay, let me see here. So for those of you in relationships too, I strongly would advise you, seek a specialist if you really want to work at that relationship. I feel that would be very beneficial for you. And for those of you who are in stable marriage situations and are dealing with children or are dealing with problems between spouses, then definitely seek a specialist. I think the time is really perfect for it, and it's going to bring in a lot of new transformation and a lot of new strategies in dealing with these issues when they creep up in the future. For those of you who are single, let me see what is going on for you. Okay, for Libras that are single, what I do sense here with this Hermit card coming up in the upright position and as your crowning energy, the Hermit is a solitary figure. These are too, but this guy, he chooses, it's like a self-imposed sense of isolation, okay, and he's happy with it. So you're I used this metaphor before for Virgo, but I don't feel it's appropriate to use for Libra, mainly because Libra is an air sign, and you like social relationships, so it wouldn't be appropriate. But what I do sense is a sense of like self-imposed isolation. You really want the abundance in the world. You really want the abundance in all your social relationships and, in establishing them, getting out there and having fun. And then you encounter all these not that you encounter these problems because you're still isolated from the experience. But okay, so let me restart and rephrase. So what I mean is, for those of you who are single and you are like trying to date again, what I do sense is that you're like about to step out of your isolation, and then your friends or your families or the people around you come to you with all these issues, and you're just like, okay, maybe I'm better off on my own because of all these issues. I don't really want to go through it. So it could be that type of situation for you, okay? Which there's nothing wrong with that, but don't stay stuck there in isolation for too long, okay? Because I feel that you are ready, and for single Libras, this is you here as well, and you are showing up here in the reverse position. So this is you or another air sign that you're potentially dealing with, but I do sense, since it is a sword energy, this is an air sign, and this is you. You're jumping the gun a little bit. You're like it's sort of like you are here in the forefront, and then you're jumping the gun because you feel like you know what is the best solution, and you really want to push everyone in the right direction to streamline this process to reach a resolution. And I would say, try to hold off on that, mainly because things have to unravel on their own time, and you're dealing with a lot of really stubborn people. So people need their time and their space, and they need to come to terms with things on their own. If, especially like earth signs too, if you push too hard, they won't budge, and they're going to win over time, okay? Because earth is just too stable, and they just won't budge. So you can nudge things in the right direction and suggest, therapy or something like that, but people have to come to things on their own time. All right, so overall, what I do see, it's going to be a very transformative and a very powerful month. So I hope you harness the energy, and I do hope that for those who are dealing with this, that you find a very good therapist, that you reach a very good resolution, and that, in the spirit of compromise. Okay, compromising doesn't mean losing a part of yourself. It means just giving a part of yourself to the other person, okay? And you have to trust that the other person won't abuse it. So that's what I am sensing here. So don't be so afraid about compromises, and especially the people around you, to be very patient in dealing with them, and don't push for a resolution too soon when the other parties are not prepared, or not yet. Please let me know how this plays out for you too. I'm actually very curious about, the therapy situation. So I will see you next week for the weekly reading.